Several days passed, and Semple began to worry that the advertisement would go unanswered. He was relieved when the doorbell rang the following Thursday evening. The young woman standing nose to nose with him was rail thin, with intense cobalt blue eyes, auburn hair done up in a tight bun, and a dusting of freckles across the bridge of her nose. Not what Semple would call pretty, but then looks weren't a prerequisite. Defying the early summer heat, she wore a moss green, ankle-length wool skirt and a long-sleeved blue-black peasant blouse, over which there cascaded a galaxy of stars and planets. Her voice had an East European tang, overlaid by a rasp, like that of a lifelong smoker. "My name is Bozo. Call me SB. I accept position." She swept past Semple, who followed her into the kitchen. With Mary Poppins-esque efficiency, the woman retrieved and ground the beans and brewed a pot of strong coffee. Semple looked on as Miss E.B. added a dash of milk and 2 sugar cubes to his cup. Could the unexpected familiarity with his preferences be anything more than coincidence? Declaring that she would start on Monday next, Miss E.B. gave Semple's hand a firm shake and left the house. Watching her go, he realized that he hadn't requested her references. Neither had she asked what the position paid. Putting aside these perplexing thoughts, Semple prepared for the housekeeper's arrival. The twins' room was furnished with beds, dressers, and nightstands. All that remained was to lug up a chair and a reading lamp from the cellar. He stacked bed linen and a set of towels on one of the beds. Sharing the lavatory had been a bone of contention during Maisie and Rena's teenage years. Makeup containers, lipsticks, and tubes of lotion crammed its small cabinet and overflowed the counter, sparking arguments about leaving space for their parents' use. When the girls departed for university, Emma joked that she had cleared out what amounted to a toxic waste dump. After her death, Semple jettisoned even her modest store of cosmetics. Surveying the clean room, he hoped Miss E.B. wouldn't muck it up with her own war paint. Satisfied with the number of pages that he had amassed at supper time on Friday, Semple bypassed the fridge and headed for the pub. The Red Lion's decor was a 60s time capsule. Smoking in the establishment had been verboten for years, but that didn't keep some of the loyal clientele from hoping they could breathe in the past while they lingered over backgammon and pints of bitter. Semple ordered food at the bar and carried his ale to the corner booth that he and Emma called their royal box. The cracked vinyl upholstery sighed as he settled onto it. It was embarrassing not to remember the last time he and Emma visited the pub before her death. Was the tapestry of their years together already fraying? "You're for bangers and mash?" A woman was standing beside the booth. "I said bangers and mash. Mr. Semple?" "Sorry, I was gathering wool." "No worries. I am Tacy, Gerald's daughter. I started here last week. Dad told me you were a regular." Semple had never met Gerald Bronwell's daughter. Tacy appeared to be in her mid-30s, buxom, with glowing green eyes and a mass of wavy black hair. "Enjoy your supper, Mr. Semple. Another of the same?" She swept away with his empty mug in hand. It was a darts night, and the pub was filling with a noisy crew as he spooned up the last of his sticky toffee pudding. Tacy dropped off the bill and said she hoped to serve him again soon. Back home, Semple gave the place the once-over. Before going to bed, he brushed and flossed his teeth. The face in the Lou's cabinet mirror was that of a man with a blossoming double chin and medium brown hair shot through with gray. To his embarrassment, an image of a scantily clad Tacy Bronwell popped into Semple's mind. Blushing, he shook his head to make the picture disappear. The last thing he needed right now was an emotional entanglement. Going to the bedroom, Semple kept what had always been his side of the mattress. He set the alarm and pulled the sheet to his chin. He hoped to heaven that Miss E.B. could settle in without needing his help. At 6 on Monday morning, Semple felt around on the nightstand for the alarm button. He lay back, becoming aware of a delicious smell. Emma must have tried out a new recipe, to get his day off to a good start. Smiling, he called to her, "Darling, I cannot wait to taste that dish. What's it called?" "Palestina." Semple's eyes flew open. The constellations he saw made him realize that it wasn't Emma who had prepared breakfast. Miss E.B. was beside the bed, a tray in her hands. She seemed unaware that he had addressed her as his late wife. "How long have you been here? How did you get into the house?" Miss E.B. held up a key. "I come early." The idea of hiding a spare house key inside the fairy door that Emma purchased online, it was modeled after Doctor Who's TARDIS, made Semple laugh. He had installed the Time Lord's vehicle in a leafy niche in the front garden. "Eat. Food getting cold." The housekeeper unfolded the tray legs and set it down on the bed. Semple made short work of the plateful of savory crepes, topped with apricot jam, sugar, and crushed walnuts. Touching a napkin to his lips, he began to compliment Miss E.B. on her superb cooking. Semple found himself alone. He must have been looking away when she left the room. Had he told Miss E about the front door key's location? He didn't think so. The days settled into a pleasant rhythm, and Semple made good progress on the siege of Castle Askerton. At mid-morning, the housekeeper left coffee and sweet biscuits in the hall outside the Eyrie. Entering the kitchen at mealtimes, on the table Semple found a single place laid and appetizing dishes, but no cook. Semple wondered how his employees spent her days. Invisible though Miss E.B. might be, 232 Wisteria Lane's spick and span appearance attested to the young woman's diligence. How did she manage it? He'd never heard the buzz of the Hoover, the rumble of the clothes dryer or washer, or the sound of meals being prepared. No cosmetics, perfumes, or scented soap sullied the loose counter either. A cellar-to-attic search of the house didn't turn up Miss E.B., so Semple went to her room. There was no answer to his knock, so he gathered his courage and turned the doorknob. Towels, sheets, and pillowcase sat at the foot of the bed, right where he placed them. Her wages were there too, the bills stacked in a pile with squared corners. He counted the cash. Everything he'd paid the girl was there, to the pound. The dresser and nightstand drawers were empty. Clothes, shoes, and luggage were absent from the closet. Crossing to the dresser, Semple's gaze lit upon a beautiful object. One whose purpose he could not divine. Crafted from a polished 6-inch piece of antler, it bore an inlaid gold filigree. Semple carried the item to the window. The burnished gold was no mere decoration. It was a message written in an indecipherable script. What could it mean? Wary of being discovered by his testy housekeeper, Semple returned the piece to its resting place. He listened at the door for a moment and, hearing no sound in the hallway, left the room. In the area, he turned on the computer, clicked on the bead, and opened the manuscript. Coming to the end of the file, Semple's eyes narrowed. How could the manuscript be 20 pages longer than when he had last touched it? Surely Miss E.B. couldn't have accessed the machine. Semple changed his log-in password at regular intervals, nestling a list of them deep inside the N to Z volume of the shorter Oxford. There was no way his housekeeper could have found the list, short of ransacking the Eyrie. Sheepish had it made him feel, Semple looked around the room. Nope. Everything was where he expected it to be. Semple deleted the unwanted section, changed the password again, and prepared to work. As he did so, he determined that, while his attempt to locate Miss E.B. had sprung from curiosity, the next time it would spring from suspicion. To be continued.